Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a cross-legged position. Start off by crossing your right foot in front of your left foot. Bring your hands to rest on your knees or your thighs. Your palms can be pointing down or up. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. Take these first few moments to bring your focus and awareness to your body, to your breath, and to the physical movement, expansion and deflation of your breathing. Allow your body to get a little bit taller, maybe find some very gentle movement, and start to reach your arms up overhead, and release your arms and your body up and over your crossed legs. Sink back into your breath, and feel free to find a bit of movement into your upper body. That can be just an easy seaweed leg kind of sway from side to side. Try to crawl your fingertips a little further away from your hips. And keep with that breath that we just established in your sitting position. Fill the space between your shoulder blades with every inhale. And with every exhale, crawl your fingertips a little further out in front of you. Take a few more moments. And then slowly start to roll yourself up. In your upright position, keep your left knee bent and extend your right leg. Your butt bones will be rooted down into the mat. Reach your arms up overhead, rotate towards your extended leg, and release your body up and over your right leg. Think like a bow and arrow, like you're trying to pull your left knee away from your right ankle as you consistently get longer through the back of your neck. Every exhale, allow the torso to sink a little heavier towards the right thigh and the right shin. Take full big breaths in and full big breaths out. Maybe you're able to crawl your fingertips a little further out in front of you. Take a few more breaths here. If you haven't already noticed, in today's sequence, we're going to be holding things for just a little bit longer to get a little more familiar with the breath in these spaces. And we use the breath to help and assist our stretches. Roll your body up. Take your left knee and bring your left foot across your right thigh. Now hug around your knee and start to find a twist, a rotation over to the left. You can keep your bottom leg straight, or you could bend your right leg. Try to keep both of your butt bones down on the mat. Feel nice and tall through the crown of your head with every inhale. And with every exhale, allow yourself to twist even a little further. You may feel a nice stretch with your twist. You may feel a nice stretch into your left glute. Pull your thigh into your chest. Plug down into both of your butt bones. Imagine someone takes the tops of your ears and pulls you up to the ceiling. Give it one more breath here. Slowly revolve yourself out of it and do a counter twist up and over to the right so you're released over. And just take a few moments in your counter twist. One more big breath. And then slowly, slowly release. Grab for your left shin or your left ankle and bring your left knee towards your left armpit. So it's like you're trying to wrap your arms around your left shin, almost like you're cradling a baby. Flex your left foot a lot. Try to sit up as tall as possible, which may feel a little challenging. You may be really rounded over. And now slowly start to release your left shin on top of your right shin. Continue to actively flex through your feet, sit up nice and tall, and then release yourself over your legs. This is a really intense stretch for the hips. I'm not able to get my top knee down to my bottom ankle. I typically have a lot of space there because I have a bit of tightness in your hips. If you're finding some discomfort with a big gap between your top knee and your bottom ankle, feel free to slide in maybe a foam roller or a block, or maybe even just a pillow, just as a bit of support. As was mentioned earlier, the theme of our session today is breath. How can you use your breath to get yourself a bit deeper? Can you crawl your fingertips a little further forward? And if you can't, that's okay. Breathe where you are. Be where you are. Every day is a new adventure. Our bodies are constantly changing. And just have grace with that. Roll yourself all the way up. You've still got your ankles stacked. Bring your arms back behind you and remove your legs from each other. Bring your feet a little bit wider and start to slowly and gently knock your knees from side to side. This is just a little opportunity to let some fresh blood flow back into your hip joints and your lower body, and also finding a bit of movement into your lower spine. It doesn't have to look like anything, it just has to feel like a nice release. We're gonna do all of that on the opposite side. So start off with your left shin in front. Take a moment to sit up tall, reach your arms up overhead, and release yourself up and over your crossed legs. Head is heavy. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. And now we know what's about to happen on our second side. So in this first posture, allow yourself to, even if you can't physicalize it, just imagine and feel that length and that space that you can create through your spine, through your back. Come back into that breath that we established at the beginning of the sequence. Full big breaths into the space between the shoulder blades, into the rib cage. Slowly roll yourself up and extend your left leg out to a left diagonal. Sit up tall on your butt bones, reach your arms up overhead, and release yourself up and over your left leg. Now think of this as a bow and arrow, as though your right hip pulls away from your left ankle. And now how can you use your breath to assist? The breath can be a very calming force, a very relaxing force, and what might otherwise feel like kind of a stressful situation in this stretch perhaps. So lessen up if you need to, but continue to use your breath. The body will become more and more familiar with the posture, more and more familiar with the stretch. And the breath will help to imprint that memory. Slowly, slowly start to roll yourself out of this stretch. Take your right foot and cross your foot over your left thigh. Hug your right knee into your chest, sit up nice and tall. Feel your butt bones root down into the mat, and then bring your left arm across your right knee as you twist and rotate to the right. Now you could keep your bottom leg extended, or you could bend your bottom knee in, whatever feels more accessible to you. Try to root both of your butt bones into the mat. And while you're grounded through your butt bones, think that your spine could grow tall away from the ground. Notice tension you may be holding on to in the shoulders. Try to release tension away from the ears. As your shoulder blades slide down your back, think of your spine finding a little more length. With your breath here, every inhale, allow length. And every exhale, find more twist. And then slowly release and move over into your counter twist just for a moment. And then slowly unravel out of that, and you'll take your right shin, place it into your hands, once again, kind of like a baby. Your right knee towards your right armpit. Pull the shin in towards your chest, sit up nice and tall. The back of your neck is nice and long. And maybe even taking a little bit of a rocking sensation. And then this is where we gently, gently stack the right shin on top of the left shin. Flex your feet a lot, reach your arms up overhead, and then release yourself up and over your legs. Double pigeon pose, again, can be very intense on both of your hips. If you're experiencing a lot of space underneath your right knee, feel free to bring any sort of bolster, maybe that's a pillow or a block underneath your right knee. And then in this position, feel free to find a little bit of movement. That could be side to side, easy little swaying. And continue to use your breath in the same way we've used it throughout this series. Your breath is a tool. It's helpful in stressful situations, being that while performing or in difficult stretches. Take one more full big breath and slowly roll yourself up. Separate your feet once again. Bring your feet so they're flat. Open your knees a bit wider and start to find that windshield wipe of your knees from side to side. Place a little weight back on your hands and just let your knees fall right and left, finding a little more movement into the lower back. And then bring yourself back to center and open your legs into a straddle position. Sit up nice and tall. And then if it feels accessible to you, start to walk your hands out in front of you and fold over. Now this straddle stretch can bring up a bit of stress for certain people if your hips are not really open or you're very tight in your hips or your groin. So you do what you need to do in this posture. Again, like any posture, it doesn't have to look like anything. You're gonna have a little bit of a bend with your knees. You can bring your legs to your range of motion. Maybe they're open super wide, or maybe they're a little closed in. But you know your body, you know where you're feeling these sensations. So just allow that to happen and try not to judge it. And then as you come a little more accustomed to your breath, maybe you feel as though you're able to walk your elbows, your forearms a little further away from your hips. Or maybe you're able to barely extend one of your legs all the way straight. Blocks or a pillow can be a really good prop for this one as well, to bring your hands onto if you're not able to fold your torso over. You can bring your hands onto some blocks or to a couple of pillows just to assist. And like a lot of our stretches, we're going to be here for a bit longer. Continue to use the breath to facilitate the opening. And then slowly bring yourself out of this. Very gently bring your legs so they're in front of you. Feel free to take any movement. Shift your butt bones from side to side. Reach your arms up overhead and release yourself over into a seated forward fold. Now, just as in the wide straddle, you may be experiencing a pretty deep bend with your knees. That's okay. You find the forward fold that you feel in your body. Maybe you feel a stretch through the backs of your legs into your hamstring. Maybe you feel more of a stretch into your lower back. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades, maybe some expansion you're finding into your lower back. And let your breath be your tool. Every exhale, get a bit deeper. And then slowly start to roll yourself all the way up to sit. Cross your ankles, come into a cross-legged position the same way we began our practice. Bring your hands to rest on your knees or your thighs. Maybe allow your eyes to close. And in these final few moments, take an opportunity to reconnect with your breath and notice any differences you may feel. Maybe physical differences, maybe physical shifts, maybe mental shift, or maybe just something different with your breath. And take a moment of gratitude, carving out this time for yourself. Thank you for joining us. And that's your flow.